Hello, hello. Can I please get a microphone check? Let me know in the chat if you can hear my voice. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Please make sure to like the video on your way in. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. I do give away free crypto once in a while when we get enough viewership. So make sure you have those notifications turned on. Definitely learn the #1 rule in DeFi. We do DeFi the right way, which means we use a Web3 wallet to take full custody of our coins and tokens. A Web3 wallet is a seed phrase. A seed phrase is a wallet is a seed phrase. They are synonymous. So when you get into DeFi, you're going to get your Web3 wallet, you're going to get your seed phrase, and what you need to do is protect that seed phrase. Keep it as a hard copy. Do not store it as some kind of electronic file. Don't keep it as a text file on your computer or your phone. Don't take a picture of it. Don't send it in an email. Just keep it as a hard copy and keep it to yourself. Never give it to anybody, no matter what they say. All kinds of scammers out there are going to try to trick you into giving up your seed phrase, but you just don't fall for the scams. You're never going to need your seed phrase ever again unless you're restoring your wallet on a new device. So don't fall for the trick where they send you to a website and they tell you you need to validate your wallet or some other nonsense. And then they ask you to enter your 12 words into a website. That's the most common scam. Just keep that seed phrase to yourself and lock it away. Hello, my name is Brandon, also known as the DeFi Guide. I've been retired or working just on this YouTube channel and doing my DeFi thing for about 2.5 years now. So supporting myself, supporting my family of 6 in life. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Supporting myself and my family for 2.5 years, just based on DeFi. I did get incredibly lucky when I first got into DeFi, and within about 7 or 8 months, I was able to turn about $30,000 into a stake on Drip Network that was in the millions. And I was able to take a lot of profits from that and sort of build my whole DeFi portfolio from there. Since then, Drip Network kind of crashed and burned. It's still around today, but the token has dropped by 99.99%. A lot of protocols have come and gone over the last 2 or 3 years, but I'm still here. And the main thing that I do in DeFi, what I like to talk about on this channel, what I'm going to be talking about today, is providing liquidity on a V3 decentralized exchange. Kind of a mouthful, but trust me, if you spend some time on this channel, if you tune in for my live streams, if you ask questions, you can learn how to do this. And the income is very nice. And I would definitely say that this is one of the very safest things that you can do in DeFi. You're not having to buy a token and speculate on the price going up because other investors got into the token after you. None of that. You don't have to lock your tokens. You control your tokens and you control your money 100% of the time. There's some things to learn. There's definitely a learning curve. I do have a starter video. If you look in the description below, there is a hey, Moonshot Max. Guys, make sure to support Moonshot Max here on YouTube, one of the other OGs here in DeFi. What was I saying? Let's go to here. Go ahead and share the screen, guys. So if you look in the description below, there is a little beginner tutorial video that I put together, about 15 minutes, sort of gets you started in the world of providing liquidity. And again, my opinion here is this is one of the safest things that you can do in DeFi. And the passive income is great. And by the way, I don't get anything from doing this. I don't get referral rewards. I don't get commissions. I don't get exit liquidity from you. None of that. You're not doing anything for my portfolio if you decide to watch my videos and take the time and learn how to do this. I just love doing this. It's the perfect combination for me between trading and decentralized finance. And I just love to teach. So that's why I cover concentrated liquidity or V3 liquidity on my channel so frequently. Um, and I just keep hammering this message, hoping that people will understand the awesome opportunity that we have here. The vast majority of folks hear numbers like 100% APR. um, Even if some people don't even know what that means. Some people don't even understand what APR is. But those who do, they hear those kinds of numbers and they think it's a scam. Automatically, they think, oh, that's too good to be true. I literally have had people respond to me with that exact phrase, too good to be true. And they stopped paying attention to anything that I had to say or anything that I had to teach them. So it boggles my mind. It really surprises me. I'm astonished at how resistant people are to these kinds of opportunities. Um, crypto has a bad name. Decentralized finance has a bad name for good reason. There's a lot of scammers out there. There are a lot of rug pulls. There are a lot of cheaters. There are a lot of people that will steal your money in DeFi. But doing this, providing liquidity on a decentralized exchange like PancakeSwap, that is my preferred DEX. There are other DEXs out there, but I tend to stick with PancakeSwap because it's been around for a long, long time. I believe it's been around 4+ years now. Uniswap started this whole thing, and PancakeSwap followed soon thereafter. It's just a reliable platform. It's been up and running. They've made improvements over the years. It's just steady doing its thing here. And it's a great opportunity for us to earn some pretty nice passive income. Just to give you a little bit of a preview, the volume has kind of dropped down a little bit on my favorite Doge BNB position here, but it's still a sweet, sweet APR. It's actually higher than 100% right now at the moment. This will fluctuate based on trading volume. You can see the number just changed as I spoke, but 125%. That is an annual percentage rate. That means the trading fees, the rewards that you're receiving as being a provider of liquidity to this liquidity pool, you're going to get roughly, what is that? 0.3, somewhere between 0.3 and 0.4% a day. Now, in this particular position, I'm providing Doge BNB. So that means I'm earning Doge and I'm earning BNB with my liquidity position. I also have my LP token, my liquidity provider token. I have it staked here on the farm under the earn category farms. I've got my LP token staked, meaning I've sort of locked that liquidity in. I've kind of made a promise to PancakeSwap that I'm going to keep my liquidity there. However, I can remove that anytime I want. I'm not really earning all that much additional yield here, but I am earning a little bit of cake, which is PancakeSwap's reward token. So PancakeSwap makes money when we make money. PancakeSwap wants as much liquidity in their decentralized exchange as possible. So they incentivize us to provide liquidity as if the trading fees that we earn were not enough. They also incentivize us by rewarding us with a little bit of cake on the side. There are certainly other liquidity pools, right? That Mr. Big. Trump for prison. I love that. Let's not get political here, but I think politics it's all a sham. I think it's kind of ridiculous that we get to choose between two political parties when, in my opinion, who's really running the show in the world are the bankers. The bankers are running everything. It all boils down to money, and those politicians are for hire. It's ridiculous to me that we have to choose between two candidates here in the U.S. Anyway, I don't want to get bogged down into politics. And Mr. Big, what are you doing as far as, are you providing for Doge BNB, or are you providing liquidity for a different pair? I seem to recall that you were providing liquidity, same as me, on Doge BNB. But I don't remember for sure. And the reason I have selected Doge BNB, there's a couple of different reasons. Now, I am not a fan. I'm not a fanboy for the Doge token, Dogecoin. However, even though I'm not super bullish on Doge, that doesn't mean that there aren't a lot of other people that are bullish on, okay, right, ETH, Bitcoin. And I'm also providing for that. In fact, it's been a while since I checked out my position. I did close my position and converted everything to ETH right before ETH spiked up relative to BTC, Bitcoin. But I need to check back in on that position and probably reestablish. Anyway, so it's very funny, but almost every time that I talk to a stranger about crypto, Doge is one of the coins that's often mentioned. Oh, yeah, I'm into crypto. I bought some Doge. That's the common response that I get whenever I meet somebody new. Yeah, me too, on ZK Sync. I meet somebody new, the conversation turns to cryptocurrency, and it's more often than not, that new person is going to start talking to me about Doge. Yeah, I'm in crypto. I'm in Doge. I bought Doge, right? So it's a very popular token. And because of that, first of all, it could go up. It could perform well along with the rest of the crypto market. You know, all of the different mainstream cryptocurrencies tend to move together, which is another reason why I'm choosing to farm Doge BNB. You know, so if the cryptocurrency market goes up as a whole, I think Doge will perform pretty well. It might outperform BNB. It might underperform BNB. We'll talk about that, what happens on the price chart, what happens with our liquidity position when there's some underperformance or some overperformance. But it's also a token. Doge is a token that is interesting to a lot of people. And in the game of liquidity providing, one of the most important things is the volume. How many trades are being executed on a daily basis with that particular pair? I'm definitely a huge fan, and I'm hugely bullish on BNB. I've been, since I started my DeFi journey, the Binance Smart Chain has been where it's at. The chain has performed beautifully. The gas fees have always been low. In fact, they went down over the years. The gas fees got cheaper and cheaper over the last couple of years. The transactions always go through very quickly. The user experience on BNB chain or Binance Smart Chain has been great. It's always been great. And I think there's a bright future ahead for BNB as the gas token, the main gas token for Binance Smart Chain or BNB chain. So I selected Doge BNB because I believe there's going to be a lot of trading volume. I believe whatever Doge I earn and stack up in my wallet is going to go up in value over time. I believe that whatever BNB I earn and stack up in my wallet is also going to go up over time. I also think that these aren't the most mainstream of mainstream cryptocurrencies, right? The most mainstream cryptocurrency of it is, of course, Bitcoin, followed by Ether or Ethereum. Doge and BNB are both kind of in that rogue, outskirts, but still mainstream category. So I think that over time, their price performance is going to be very similar. So I think there will be periods of time. There certainly will be periods of time where Doge outperforms BNB, and vice versa. There will be periods of time where BNB outperforms Doge. I'm just always wary of the meme coins. I am too, which is why, I'm not necessarily a huge fan of Doge, but it is a popular token. Like you could say that Doge is the granddaddy of meme tokens, right? It's the original meme token. Literally, it's the first meme token. I think it started with the Litecoin code, but then they just forked Litecoin, created a new blockchain, and called it Doge, and put a picture of a doggy on it. The godfather of memes. Oh yeah, I remember that story. I didn't really pay super close attention to that story when you told that, Mr. Big, because I wasn't into Doge at all. Um, and yeah, I hear what you're saying. I think it's gone up a ton, right, since 2016. Last I looked at Doge, it was between 15 and 16 cents, and I'm sure you let it go for a lot lower than that. So it's all good. We're always going to have trading decisions that we regret. It's basically impossible to avoid regret. You're never going to make the exact perfect trading decision. You might sell the high, but then it goes higher, and you're going to have some regret. You might buy the low, but you think you're buying the low, but it goes lower, right? You know what I mean? Like there's always going to be room for regret. You're never going to have perfect decisions when it comes to trading in and out of tokens, which is why I like to avoid trading, at least when it comes to cryptocurrency. Of course, I do day trading every day. That is a much different story. I'm more passionate, I would say, about cryptocurrency. I'm a huge opponent of debt-based fiat currency, as all of you know. I think crypto is way, way better for all of humankind. So it's just more meaningful to me, and rather than trading in and out so much with these cryptocurrencies, I really just want to accumulate more and more tokens over time as this whole transfer of wealth plays out, right? The transfer of wealth I'm talking about, I've talked about this many times in the past. People are getting out of debt-based fiat currency. People are starting to understand that inflation is a bad thing. The central banks being able to create trillions of new units of dollars and euros and all the other fiat currencies, that's not a good thing. That debases all of our existing currency, and it robs us of our purchasing power. People are starting to wake up to that reality, and people are starting to leave the fiat currencies and come into something better like cryptocurrency or precious metals. I'm also a fan of gold and silver. But I believe and I think that Bitcoin is basically the hardest money on earth. Meaning it's the hardest currency or form of money to create new units of it. There are still new units of Bitcoin being created every 10 minutes. Every time a miner finds the next block to put onto the blockchain, they receive fresh Bitcoins as a block reward. So it's still inflating the supply of Bitcoin, but every 4 years it cuts the block reward in half, And so the inflation rate of the supply of Bitcoin keeps going down and down and down over time. It keeps getting harder and harder. And that's what we want. As a society, we want the hardest money possible. That allows us to save money today and utilize it in the future without it losing its purchasing power. And when you have hard money as a society, you get a society that's geared on thinking about the future. If your money is going to hold its value or maybe even increase in value over time, that gets you to focus and think about the future. And that's what we need as a society. We need a society that has a forward-looking stance and cares about what's going to happen in the future, you know, as opposed to a society that's trying to keep up with this rampant inflation, and they're trying to spend their money as quickly as possible without even a thought to, you know, 6 months, 12 months down the road. Anyway, really got off on a tangent there. But it's fun. This is the stuff that that I like to think about, and it keeps me interested. How many ticks on the Doge stake? All right, so let's talk about it. I do have 2 positions currently, and I'm going to zoom out here a little bit. Let's look at a 4-hour chart. Now, keep in mind, this price chart is showing the Doge price in terms of BNB. I've talked about this many times, but it bears repeating. So if I click on this USD, this is going to show me the price chart for Doge in terms of US dollars. So this is the chart that Mr. Big looks at, and whenever he sold, whatever the price was, he's sad to see that the price eventually went way, way higher, and he didn't hang on to his tokens. So, but in terms of being a liquidity provider, what I care about isn't so much the USD price. I do care about the USD price, right? I do want my tokens to go up in USD value, which I believe they will over time. But for the purposes of being a liquidity provider, what I care about is the Doge BNB price. So I always click on this toggle right here, and I display my prices in terms of BNB. So what this is going to show us is the relative performance, meaning if Doge is outperforming BNB, this price chart goes up. If BNB is outperforming Doge, this price chart goes down. But if you kind of zoom out and take a larger order picture of this price chart, what you see is more or less a straight line. Of course, there's volatility. There are periods of time where Doge outperforms BNB. There are periods of time where BNB outperforms Doge, but it kind of just keeps cruising along sideways. I'm using that to my advantage. That is my main thesis when I provide liquidity for Doge BNB. My thesis has 2 parts. One is BNB and Doge will go up in USD value over time. And the second is BNB and Doge will have roughly the same price performance. Again, there will be spikes upward, there will be spikes downward, but for the most part, I believe this chart will kind of more or less continue sideways, which is perfect for a liquidity provider. Let me zoom in. Let's look at a 30-minute. Now, there's a new protocol in the works. It is not yet released. Hey, RD, thanks for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, and like the video. Appreciate you for tuning in. Now that would be an interesting one as well. That is another one that I hear about whenever I'm talking to somebody new. about cryptocurrencies. I just met somebody and I tell them I'm into cryptocurrency and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm in Doge. Oh yeah, I bought some SHIB." Yeah. So that would be an interesting one to look at. I don't know. I guess I would say I'm less bullish on SHIB over time versus Doge over time. You know, Elon Musk is into Doge ostensibly, right? Once in a while, he talks about Doge. There's a lot of volume in this pair as well. So I mentioned that previously, but let me kind of define what I was talking about. You see this liquidity number here. This tells you how much capital is sitting in this liquidity pool. This is the Doge BNB liquidity pool, or LP, on PancakeSwap. And there's currently $1.5 million worth of capital in that pool. Look at the volume. This is the volume in the last 24 hours. That means $1 million has been swapped back and forth in this liquidity pool. That's pretty good. And I have seen this number quite a bit higher. I've seen where the volume number is double the liquidity. That's good for liquidity providers because liquidity providers earn a little fee every time somebody swaps. So it doesn't matter which token they're swapping for the other. If somebody swaps BNB for Doge or somebody swaps Doge for BNB, the liquidity providers earn a little fee, right? And so the more swapping that's taking place, i.e. the more volume, the more fees we're going to earn as liquidity providers. This new platform that is in development, the Liquid Warrior platform, it is a bot that automatically manages your liquidity position. What you can see here, let me zoom in on this little section here. I ran an experiment with this bot. So what this bot does is it manages your liquidity position as narrow or as wide as you would like. I ran a 6-tick position with my bot, okay? Because I wanted to see, you know, the tighter your range is, the higher the APR. You're going to earn a larger portion of the swap fees as long as the price stays within your range. And what this bot does is when the price goes, let me zoom in even more. When the price goes out of your range, as you can see, this was my initial range with the bot. As soon as price went out of range, the bot established a new position. And there was the new position, but then it went out and the bot had to establish another new position. And then it barely went out here and the bot established another new position with a higher range. Rinse and repeat. So the advantage of this bot, the way I was running it, is the range is very tight. The APR is something like 1,000%, whereas you know, the APR that I'm running right now is 125, maybe 130%. Okay, so that's nice to have a high APR, but the problem is, and I wanted to see the effect of this, which is why I was kind of running this experiment. Every time the bot has to rebalance, it's actually draining capital. It's losing money every time. And the way that works is, let's look at this rebalance right here. Let's look at this series of rebalances. So here, BNB was outperforming Doge. Doge was underperforming BNB. So our liquidity position, the traders were selling Doge to get BNB. They were dumping Doge to get BNB. And as liquidity providers, we're always taking the other side of the traders, right? So our liquidity position here was buying Doge and giving away BNB. By the time price reached the bottom of the range, we had no more BNB. We had all all Doge and no more BNB. So our liquidity position is buying up the token that's dropping in price. And then to make matters worse, that's called impermanent loss, by the way. As price is dropping, our position is buying the losing token, let's say. But if we didn't close out the position and price returned to, the middle or went back up, then that impermanent loss was never locked in. It remained impermanent. It remained a on paper loss, not a realized loss. But the moment our bot has to rebalance, it has to lock in that impermanent loss. And so the impermanent loss, or IL, becomes realized loss. And exactly how that works is, again, at the bottom. By the way, if this is all too advanced for you, rest assured, you can ask questions. I welcome any and all questions. No such thing as a dumb question. But also, once the stream is over, you can also tune in and watch this beginner video to get a better grasp, like a beginner's level grasp on providing liquidity and everything that I'm talking about. Anyway, what happens right here is the position, the bot at that point is holding all Doge. In order to create a new liquidity position with a lower range, the bot has to trade half of its Doge to get BNB. Because when you start a new position right in the middle, it needs to be 50% Doge and 50% BNB. So the bot literally takes this Doge that it's been buying. Doge has been going down in value compared to BNB. And it then has to sell Doge at that low price to buy some expensive BNB. If it keeps going, it has to do it again. And it keeps going, it has to do it again. So every time you're buying the losing token, and then when price couldn't really get any lower, you're selling that low price to buy the more expensive token. Oh, guess what? That token keeps going down. You buy it up, you sell another low. Okay, so the bot, as it turns out, the bot kept locking in that impermanent loss as realized loss, and it just basically drained capital. I thought that the high APR of that tight range could make up for the capital that was being lost, and it is possible. Okay, so right here you can see that the price stayed within range for like a full day, like 24 hours or a little bit more. If for whatever reason the price just stayed in that tight range for multiple days, then yeah, you would earn a lot of fees. You're not having any kind of impermanent loss. You're not having any of the expenses associated with rebalancing. There's swap fees to pay. There's slippage that you're going to have. There's price impact that you're going to have, especially if you have a bigger position. But if the price just manages to stay in range for a prolonged period of time, wow, you're going to earn a ton of fees because you're rocking that 900, 1000% APR, right, of the tight range. You're just going to accumulate a ton of fees. That didn't actually pan out. It could have, but it didn't, right? And the price just kept dropping, and my liquidity position, my bot, just kept leaking capital. Okay, so what I did, and what I've been talking about with the founder of Liquid Warriors, the lead dev, G Money, is a new strategy for the bot, and that's not available yet. But G Money is working on it and putting it together, putting it into code. But this is the new strategy. And I'm hopeful that within the next couple of weeks, I will be able to have a live stream with G Money. I think that would be a lot of fun. And this platform will be available with the new strategy. So what's the new strategy? The new strategy is something that I've implemented here just on a manual DIY basis. I'm just doing it myself. I would love to have a bot that does this for me. G Money is working on it, but it's not available yet. So I started this new position on May 11th, excuse me. And I put about $3,000 of capital into the Doge BNB liquidity pool. I'm not sure how many ticks this is. Keep it a buck to finally answer your question. I don't know what the exact number of ticks is on this, but you can see my price range, and I'll show you the position on PancakeSwap as well. There's my range. I'm not trying to keep it a secret. It's not a secret. The interesting thing is the value of this liquidity position right now is just under 3,000. And I removed almost $400 right here. So here's the thesis. Again, irrespective of what happens with the USD prices, which I think over time, both of these tokens are going up. But irrespective of the USD prices, I think that this price chart, Doge performance compared to BNB performance, I think it'll go basically sideways. It'll spike up, it'll spike down, but it will do what we call mean reversion. So I think it will keep reverting to the mean. I had to wait this out when price went out of my range, no longer earning fees. But the new strategy, and the one that G Money is implementing for a secondary offering with Liquid Warriors, doesn't do any rebalancing. What it does is it establishes a core position, which you can see this box right here. And it also establishes a small position at the bottom of that range and a small position at the top of the range. So first of all, with the core range, it's pretty wide. You can see it's a lot wider than what I was running with that 6-tick warrior. It could be wider, it could be narrower. This is just what I chose, and I just kind of eyeballed the chart and figured, okay, price will probably spend most of the time within, this price and this price. I was wrong, but I was not too far off, right? And here, price came back in, and I'm back to earning fees at the moment. So the concept of the little position down here and the little position up here, which I didn't implement here in my manual strategy. The idea is this is a one-sided liquidity position, meaning the only token that you put into this liquidity position in this one is BNB. So it's basically like a limit order. For those of you who have done any trading, you know what a limit order is versus a market order. The idea here would be that this liquidity position would automatically use that BNB to buy Doge. Now, when this price dropped through the lower position, all of the BNB that I had placed in this small liquidity position was converted into Doge, right? As price traded through this. And this is, by the way, just a single tick. This is a 1-tick range. By the time price traded through this range and was below that range, then my liquidity position was now 100% Doge. Unfortunately, I was not looking at the chart when this happened. If I had caught it with price below that range, what I would have done is closed that liquidity position. I would have removed it from Pancake Swap, and that would have given me the Doge back into my wallet. And then I would have created a position up here, 100% Doge, to sell when price goes up here. Okay, so the basic concept is here is buy low and sell high, and collect fees when price is in the middle, right? So it's kind of the best of both worlds. You're doing some trading, but you're also just sitting back passively earning fees. The only problem is, as a manual operator of this strategy, I have to watch the chart, and I wasn't watching the chart. Otherwise, I would have been able to pull that position, grab that Doge, create a new position up here with Doge, right? And then once price came up here, that Doge would have been converted into BNB, i.e. I would have been selling Doge at a high price, buying Doge at a low price relative to BNB, selling Doge at a high price relative to BNB. So the bot that G Money is making is going to do this for us automatically. It'll realize when price has dropped below that lower position, or when price has moved above that upper position, and it will automatically close out that position and drain that capital, put it back in our wallet. All right, so it's going to be really cool when it is available. And as I said, I think he's at the tail end of the development process on that. So I do anticipate that will be available to us within the next 2 or 3 weeks, I would guess. In the meantime, one thing that I did here is I assumed, or I came to the opinion that Doge was at a high price right in here. So I removed 10% of my liquidity position. When price is up here, right? Remember, we're taking the opposite side of the traders. So if price is going up on this chart, it means traders are buying Doge in favor of BNB. They're paying BNB and they're buying Doge. Our liquidity position is doing the opposite. Once price reaches the top of our range here, we're sold out. We've sold out all of the Doge, and all we have at this point is pure BNB in this main core position, this one right here. So when price was close to the top of my range, it wasn't 100% BNB, but it was mostly BNB, right? Traders had been buying Doge. I had been selling Doge in my liquidity position, and I was almost sold out of Doge. So what I did is I removed 10% of my overall position, meaning I just went over here and said remove, and then I said 10%, like that. And I removed that, and I got mostly BNB and a little bit of Doge. And as it says on the chart right there, I actually swapped that little bit of Doge. I swapped it for BNB because I thought Doge is currently overperforming. I don't think that will last. It did last quite a bit longer than I anticipated, but you can see what the price did. It's come back down. That doesn't mean anything about the USD price. All this decline means is that currently Doge isn't performing as well as BNB. Both tokens might be going up. In fact, I think both tokens are. Yeah, they're both green. BNB is up 4%, almost 4%. Doge is only up 0.9%, right? So the relative performance is definitely in favor of BNB in a big way, right? It's up 4%. Doge isn't even up 1%. That's why this price is going down. And I'm not trying to say that I'm some kind of trading genius, but all I'm saying is that that was my thesis. I've had the thesis all along that, okay, Doge might outperform BNB for a period of time, for a limited period of time. It's not going to outperform forever. I don't think it will. Maybe it will. Maybe I'll be wrong. But I think there will be periods of time where Doge does better than BNB, but there will also be periods of time where BNB does better than Doge. And that seems to be playing out. Now I'm back in range. In fact, I'm almost right in the middle of the range, back to earning some nice trading fees. Volume has picked up. I think this was only around 600,000 or 700,000 when I looked at it yesterday. So that's good. That will mean my APR goes up. And now I have this position ready to go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stack up this position a little bit. I'm talking about this lower position. And again, the idea here, this is 100% BNB, and it's a one tick wide range. And so if and when price comes down through this bottom range, it's going to convert that BNB that I have sitting there. It's going to convert it into Doge. I'm going to be buying Doge at a relatively low price. Let me go ahead and do that. And I'm not really seeing any questions. So I think after that, I will just go ahead and wrap up the stream. Don't forget to watch that beginner tutorial video. Again, link in the description below. Also, everybody should be joined up with the Team Drip Guide Telegram group. I used to be Drip Guide. Now I'm DeFi Guide because I talk about a lot more than just Drip. Sorry, I'm just unlocking my ledger here. Hey, Killis, nice to see you. So I'm taking advantage of the fact that I sold some Doge up here. I removed part of my position up here when it was mostly BNB after selling a bunch of Doge at relatively high prices. And if and when price comes back down, I'll be swapping that BNB into Doge, buying Doge low. So here's how I do that. First of all, let me kind of refresh and go to my liquidity page. And I had cashed in, like I said, about $400 worth of Doge and BNB right here. So I'm going to put about $400 into this lower position. It's this inactive one right here. This one is the main position. You can tell because it's active. I also have the LP token staked on the farm, so I'm earning that extra cake. This one here, if you look at the price range, let's look at it in terms of how many Doge. No, I don't want that. How many BNB to get one Doge? It's between 0.000233 and 0.000234. Like I said, it's just a single tick on the range. 233 and 234 is way down here. 233, 234. Okay, so that's my lower position. And like I said, it's all BNB, no Doge. Okay, there was a little bit of trading that was in range, and I earned the range was super tight. You can't get tighter than one tick range, so I earned a good amount of BNB and Doge while price was in the range for like 5 minutes, way down here. It didn't spend a lot of time in range, but it was in range for a little bit, and yeah, the fees on that were through the roof. Anyway, I'm going to add some liquidity here because this is way out of range. I'll only be able to add BNB. I think Let's see what 0.7 is. That's a little bit much. Let's do 0.65. So about $400 worth of BNB. BNB has gone up in price. It's rallying pretty good, especially today. And we're just going to increase that. Let's see if it works. Rabby is my favorite Web3 wallet app. And I do have a link below. You can get some extra Rabby points if you use my link. Okay, it's on the normal 1 GUI setting. Love it. Cheap gas fees. Boom. Cosmos, great question. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for asking a question. Do you always recommend using PancakeSwap over, say, other sites like Orca Finance or Turbos Finance? I do have a position on Turbos. That's on the SUI or SWI network. Not too sure exactly how you're supposed to say that. I do have a Turbos position. I do not have any positions on Orca Finance. Turbos is nice because the decentralized exchange there provides some extra APR in the form of extra SUI or SUI tokens. But I've had a hard time keeping the position in range. Let me show you that. I was running a SUI USDC position for quite some time. It's been a while. Look at the 4-hour chart. Yeah, I was running that position right there, but it dropped out of range and has not even come close to coming back. So again, when we're providing liquidity, we're taking the opposite side of traders. Traders were selling, selling, selling. My liquidity position was buying, buying, buying. I am a fan of SWI. I think it's a good blockchain. It's a good network. I think it has a bright future, but the price performance has been pretty dismal, especially considering everything else is up pretty well. So I'm just hodling for now. Once my position converted to 100% SUI right here, I'm just hodling that. I could establish another position, but I'd have to sell cheap SUI to get some USDC, right? I think I'd rather just hodl because I think the long-term picture for this coin is up and to the right. So, and then as far as, basically your question, PancakeSwap has been around the longest besides Uniswap, which who wants to do anything on the Ethereum network because the gas fees are crazy. But other than Uniswap, PancakeSwap has been around for a long, long time. So it's reliable. People utilize it. There's a lot of volume. That's pretty good volume. But it's just a choice of, how much volume you're going to have on the exchange. Because again, as liquidity providers, we need volume. So if the volume is not really there on Orca or Turbos, or they're not, giving you some extra juice to provide liquidity, then yeah, I prefer to hang out on PancakeSwap. I guess it's just the safest, in my opinion. Does Drip have any chance to come? It has rallied here recently. It's rallied pretty well. Let's take a quick look. It went as low as half a cent on Wrap Drip. But the last I looked, it was 0.0. It was 0.8 of a cent. This looks weird. There's only $8 of liquidity in this pool. I don't really trust that. But there's not much there either. There's $11,000 of liquidity in this liquidity pool, which means this price is crazy. There's crazy slippage when you trade in and out of wrap drip on this. But yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with drip. I mean, we're all still waiting for Forex Shark to come back. There's been some news on Forex being, back at it with the developers, having some meetings and getting ready to finalize the Black Cube Finance offering. He's always talked about wanting to do more for drip once Black Cube Finance is out, but we're all still waiting for Forex to come back. The good thing about drip is it doesn't really depend on Forex anymore. There are lots of teams and developers that are doing other things, especially with wrap drip. So I don't know for sure what's going to happen. I still have a ton of wrap drip and drip tokens, and I would love to see it rally back and come back to nice higher levels. But I don't know what's going to happen, man. Yeah, I mean, you could put in $1,000 or $1,100 of liquidity on wrap drip BNB, and you would have 10% of the liquidity pool. But also look at the volume. That's pretty dismal volume. And I would say that's about 1/3 of the 24-hour volume is about 1/3 of the total liquidity, whereas on Doge BNB there was 1.5 million in liquidity and 1 million, so about 2/3 that ratio of volume to liquidity. So you could provide liquidity. You're going to earn wrap drip and you're going to earn BNB, both of which I guess I'm bullish on. I'm definitely bullish on BNB. Whether or not drip will ever come back to reasonable prices, who knows? Yep, that's what we're told. We've heard from Black Pluto, who is Forex's kind of assistant slash project manager, I think, sort of a person. He has mentioned a few weeks ago that Forex was back and meeting regularly with the development team. We just heard a couple of days ago from another YouTuber named Richie Crypto Mischief. He mentioned that he had a couple of hour conversation with Forex, and he couldn't elaborate because he promised Forex to keep everything under the lid. But he said that Black Cube Finance is still definitely coming. It's in the works. But we haven't heard directly from Forex himself for a long, long time, since February. But at the same time, Forex did tell all of us in the community that he will not make another announcement until he is ready to announce the launch date. So it seems like he's sticking to that. And we have not heard anything from Forex, not on Telegram, not even in the Forex DAO, nothing since February 15th. And so who knows? I'm not really sure why he hasn't made any contact whatsoever. He doesn't have to, make an announcement, but he could at least chat with us in the DAO. He has chosen not to for whatever reason. I don't pretend to know why he's done what he's done, but I have heard from what I think are reliable sources that he's definitely still in the driver's seat, having meetings with the developers every day or at least every week, and work is still going. Yes, Killis, I am definitely in Spark. That was the last stream that I did. Last Wednesday, I did an AMA with AJ, the founder of Spark Swap. And I really like it. I talked all about that, so you can watch that stream. They have a bunch of new stuff for the protocol. They have the perpetuals, the futures trading protocol. They have the new 404 NFTs, which is really cool. And they're about to launch something new for EMP money as well. EMP is going to become not inflationary. So I guess fixed supply, maybe even deflationary, not really too sure. I did promise to have AJ on the stream again in the relatively near future. Next 2 or 3 weeks, I think we'll have AJ on again. But yeah, definitely in Spark. I have a big bag of Spark tokens, and I have several of the new NFTs, the Spark 404 NFTs. No, I never got into Pepe. Yeah, it has been doing well recently. Yep. Yeah, and you can I believe all of this is in the original Animal Farm Telegram chat as well. Yeah. Well, guys, I got a little more capital into my one-sided liquidity position here. So I have that trap set. Let's look at the chart again, and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Doge. Doge. Here it is. Another reason I like this this particular liquidity pool is because the fee tier on this pool is 0.25%, meaning the traders, the swappers, pay a 0.25% swap fee to the liquidity providers like me, which doesn't sound like a lot, but a lot of liquidity pools are 0.05%, and some are even 0.01%. So like 25 times less. Doge, on the other hand, Doge BNB is a 0.25. Right there, you can see 0.25% fee tier. Anyway, now it's showing the USD price. So let me toggle it over to the BNB price chart. Let's zoom in a little bit. I like to keep this on 15 minutes usually, maybe 30 minutes. Yeah, maybe 30 minutes would be better. Yeah, all that rebalancing was not good. I basically just drained a bunch of capital. I started with like, I don't know, $4,000 and lost like more than 10% of my capital by the time I went down here. So anyways, that is going to do it. I have this trap set down here. This is the BNB position, a single tick wide. And if and when price can drop down into this neighborhood, hopefully I can catch it when that happens, and I can remove this position when price is below that range. And then I will have a nice bag of Doge, and I can put that up here and sell my Doge for a high price. Buy low, sell high. That's how it's done, right? Oh, were you banned from the Animal Farm chat? Yeah, a lot of people have been banned from that or blocked from it. Haven't seen anything on the Forex Shark announcements channel, Forex Shark calls. Haven't seen anything on that. Like I said, Forex hasn't been on Telegram since February 15th. So he's been definitely missing in action, but apparently he is still in action. As long as you believe Crypto Mischief, Richie, and Black Pluto, which I have no reason to not or suspect them. And that's it. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the stream. Please feel free to reach out. Join the Telegram group t.me/team drip guide. You can see the URL scrolling along the bottom of your screen right now. Free to join, open to everybody. No question is a dumb question. So come in there, continue learning as much as you can about DeFi. Just be careful with the personal messages. As soon as you ask questions in a public chat like that, you will be bombarded with DMs. Scammers will try to scam you. So don't fall for the scams. Just basically ignore any of the DMs. You can even block and report them, which is what I do. Keep your questions in the main chat and look for your answers in the main chat as well. Don't fall for any of the scams. But that is a great place to interact with myself, with the admins that I have in there. We are all ready and willing to help you on your DeFi journey. That is the main thing. I want to make this learning curve a lot easier. Great opportunities here. It's a lot easier than you might think. You just have to put in the work, put in the time, put in the energy, and lean on me for rounding out your education and helping you with questions. Okay, I really am serious about that. No such thing as a dumb question. Please reach out in Telegram, completely free. And other than that, tune in for my next live stream. I will be live again on Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you very much for tuning in. Keep calm, stay hydrated. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. See you next time.